everybody, it's Reckless and welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall. So today I wanted to talk about the different types of gaming keyboards that you can use for consoles to play Destiny 2, as well as mice. Now, generally yes, you can use any keyboard you like, but it's not preferred to use a shitty Dell keyboard, and that is due to actuation force as well as actuation distance. I will talk a little bit about that in just a second. In my opinion, mechanical keyboards are the best for gaming, even if it's on a console, but they don't come cheap. According to many gamers, including myself, using a keyboard and mouse theoretically will give you a better advantage in reaction times due to the actuation force as well as the actuation distance on a keyboard. Now, I know many console gamers, and this is not a stab at you, may not know what I'm actually talking about, so let me explain. Actuation force is how much pressure is needed in order to depress the key, and actuation distance is how far the key has to travel before it is registered or recognized. Simple, right? No, it's actually not. You see, many different keyboards have different actuation times depending on the types of keys on the keyboard. This comes down to what is called switches. I'm not going to go into all the switches, but the most popular switches for gaming that are available are Cherry MX Reds, Browns, and the Speed Switch, as well as Kale Reds, which are equivalent to Cherry MX Reds, and also the Romer G switches from Logitech. Now, that was specifically about switches. Brands, on the other hand, are totally personal preference. However, you can't go wrong with Corsair, Razer, SteelSeries, or Logitech gaming keyboards. Emphasize on the gaming part of the keyboards. You don't want to get a regular Logitech keyboard. If you guys would like to know more about mechanical keyboards and switches, I will put a link to a PC Gamer article in the description. That way you guys can catch up on it. Now, I actually use a Corsair K95 Platinum. This mechanical keyboard uses Cherry MX Brown or speed switches. Mine has speed switches, and for good reason. The actuation distance on the speed switch is the fastest out of all of these switches, and it has an actuation distance of 1.2 millimeters. That means after pressing the key 1.2 millimeters, the keystroke will be registered. Given that all other mechanical keyboards have an actuation distance of 1.9 millimeters to 2 millimeters, then it's an obvious choice that this switch, the speed switch with a 1.2 millimeter, is definitely a lot faster. This also means quicker reaction times when loading and reloading your weapon, switching weapons, evading, jumping, and even popping your super. Now let's quickly talk about mice. This is an easier subject to talk about than keyboards. And when it comes to mice, you want to look for mice with these four important things. The first one is high DPI, which is your sensitivity. You also want to see if the mice has interchangeable weight, which means you can take some of the weight out of the mice as well as put weight into it. You want to see if it has a possibility of a sniper button or macro keys. And macro keys are not just for MMOs. I actually use them for FPS as well. And last, you want to make sure it has software and firmware updates. Now, the hardest decision besides what brand you would want possibly would be optical versus laser mice. And I will put a link in the description that explains this subject a little bit better than I can. I love you, Linus! Oh. The same brands for keyboards are the same brand that I would trust for mice. Things like LEDs and RGB for your keyboard and mouse are pretty much optional if you like that kind of stuff. However, all this means nothing if you can't use your keyboard and mouse on your console. A keyboard and mouse is not plug and play, so you can't just plug it in and pray everything will work. You will have to use third-party equipment like a Zim 4 to use a keyboard and mouse. Now, you don't have to specifically use a Zim 4, you can use any other third-party equipment that does the same thing. I will put a link to the Zim 4 in the description. Using the Zim 4 as an example, once you have everything you need, you can then proceed with the Zim 4 software and set up all of the key bindings you'd like, which I will be doing in another video. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of the video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, share it if you felt it was helpful, subscribe and turn on your notifications in order to keep up to date with all of my videos. Thank you guys for all of your support. Feedback in the comments definitely helps the channel to grow. I'm Reckless, and remember, own your success, and I will see you guys next time.